There have been well over 20 assassination attempts on American presidents over the last 200 years. 4 of them have been successful, and many others would have been if not for the United States Secret Service. These men and women risk their lives to save the lives of some of the most powerful people on Earth, and may even do more than that. What exactly does the Secret Service do? Why do they exist? And how do they help? On April 14, 1865, President Abraham Lincoln signed legislation that established the United States Secret Service. That very same night, he went and saw a play and was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth. That would be creepy, but it's not, considering that the Secret Service served an entirely different purpose back then. In that time, an estimated 1/3 of American currency in circulation was counterfeit. Then Secretary of the Treasury Hugh McCulloch asked President Lincoln to create an agency to deal with this problem, and thus the Secret Service was born as an unofficial organization under the Department of the Treasury. This was the first American federal intelligence agency, made far before the FBI and CIA were even thought about. On September 6, 1901, President William McKinley was shot and died from his injuries days later. This was the 3rd presidential assassination in just less than 40 years. After this, Congress directed the Secret Service to perform presidential protection duties as well as collect domestic intelligence. Since then, much of the domestic intelligence duties have been delegated to the FBI, CIA, and DEA. In 2003, President Bush transferred the Secret Service from the Department of the Treasury to the newly formed Department of Homeland Security, given the agency's role in protecting the president. The Secret Service initially just protected the president, but was later directed to protect all of the following people: the president, Vice President, the President-elect, the Vice President-elect, and their immediate families. Former presidents and their spouses. Jimmy Carter and his wife still have Secret Service detail. In 1985, Richard Nixon became the first president to refuse Secret Service to continue protecting him. Children of former presidents until age 16. Former vice presidents and their immediate family. Visiting world leaders and their spouses. And finally, major presidential and vice presidential candidates and their spouses. There was a small controversy when Bernie Sanders still had Secret Service protection for a few weeks, even after Hillary Clinton had become the presumptive Democratic nominee in the 2016 primaries. On numerous occasions, Secret Service personnel have risked their lives to save the president's life. Some notable instances have been Agents Jerry Parr and Tim McCarthy during the assassination attempt on President Reagan in 1981. Parr tackled Reagan into the limousine, and McCarthy took a bullet to the abdomen. Both men prevented assassin John Hinckley Jr. from fatally shooting the president. On a somewhat related note, the president's state limousine is a custom-built Cadillac on top of a truck chassis. 5-inch thick bulletproof glass is installed on all of the windows. Heavy-duty stuff. The largest operations that are undertaken by the Secret Service are presidential inaugurations. With the president, vice president, president-elect, vice president-elect, and most living former presidents along with all of their spouses in attendance, the probability for assassination is very high. An estimated 28,000 personnel from the Secret Service, Coast Guard, FBI, and Capitol Police were at Trump's inauguration. The Secret Service is also tasked with investigating financial and electronic crimes. The Secret Service is largely credited for the arrest of Albert Gonzalez and his accomplices. Gonzalez reportedly stole and sold north of 40 million credit and debit cards from many United States companies. Well, hopefully you learned something about the Secret Service today. See you in the next one.